is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Oh, yes, darling, it is very important. I'm simply talking to you tonight about how to have a healthy sex life in your marriage. I mean, intimacy doesn't have to, in any way, it doesn't have to be a daunting task, does it? So, darling, all you've got to do is just pay attention to me tonight. Just listen. You might actually be indulging in a couple of, the tips I will be sharing tonight. Or you might just get to hear some fresh tips. All I want is for you to sit back, relax, cuddle up with your significant other, and pay attention. Black coffee with a little cream, it's got you. You know, maintaining a healthy sex life is, it's not easy. No. I mean, couples get into a routine, life gets busy, and of course, kids and demanding jobs, all that to the equation, and maintaining any sort of intimacy is a daunting task with all of this in the mix. But however, darling, however hard it might be, it's important, okay? Good sex keeps couples connected and content. Do you believe that? Anyway, that's what I'm talking about tonight. Luckily, there are actually some tried and tested tips that I'm going to be sharing on the show. Yes, some tried and tested tips that you should actually look out for, okay? You should actually indulge in, okay? These tips will help keep the spark alive in your marriage. Now, let me give you some signs of a healthy sex life, just in case you're wondering what it is, okay? My dear, it's hard. It's actually hard, right, to know what a healthy sex life is somehow, right? Now, if you're having sex once a month, that's definitely not a healthy sex life, darling. What if you were only having sex a few times a year? But you and your partner are content. Okay. Now, honestly, I must tell you, there is no one size fits all. Okay? That's for sure. There's no one size fits all. And, definition basically of a healthy sex life. That is sure. So what is important is that you, my darling, and your partner are happy. Yeah, that's what matters, that you both are happy and satisfied. Yes, I know. Consent and pleasure are the only clues. Yeah, ask yourself, is this nourishing me in some way? And if it is, my dear, then you are on the right track. Okay? If you are, then if that is what it is for you, then you're on the right track, I promise you. Okay? And if not, ask yourself, what will make it better for me? These questions are very important. And if your partner feels something is missing, darling, don't worry. In a few years of sex therapy and getting to talk with a couple of people, I've gotten to realize that, in fact, I have never met a sex problem that couldn't be resolved. That's just what I want to say tonight. Okay? Yes, I've never met or heard of any sex problems that cannot be resolved with kindness and education. All this is possible. So let me just share with you these tips, okay, for a healthy sex life. My dear, first things first, darling, I need you to focus on yourself. Yeah. Focus on yourself. Remember, I'm live on Facebook and YouTube. Okay? So please, first things first, join me, okay? Join me here. First things first, you've got to be, you have got to focus on yourself. It's super duper important. Yeah. So, self. It's super duper important. Okay. So, like I was saying, you've got to. Okay. I need to do something here. Anyway, like I was saying, so focus on yourself and having a positive relationship with others. Whether that be a physical or emotional relationship. Now, it requires that we first work on the most important relationship of all, and that is the one, we have with ourselves. Okay? Very important you work on that. That relationship we have with ourselves. Improve your connection with your sexual self. It's key, Focus on being, your healthiest whole self. You're very important, just in case you didn't know. Very, very important. Yeah, so just focus on being your healthiest whole self with your sexual self. Now, you could even try journaling, see what hangs up, or what hangs up you may be holding on to. Okay, past experiences or whatever that you might just be holding on to, and then give those areas of your life some TLC, shed off certain things. And if you find that you're carrying any sexual shame as well, yeah, darling, this will be the time to recognize and acknowledge that these signs or these things are there, and you've got to work through these things. Just work on them, because if you don't, it will affect your sex life with your partner. That's for sure. And of course, the resulting confidence will actually radiate outwards, okay? And lift all external relationships and make it all beautiful. But you can't give what you don't have, okay? You've got to take care of yourself, look inwards. If you have any form of like I was saying, any form of shame or, whatever it is that could just be holding you back. This is normal with people. And this situations or this thing can actually affect your sex life. And you've got another thing is for you as a couple to communicate openly. Yes, my darling, when it comes to enjoying a healthy sex life, communication is everything. I say this all the time on Pillow Talk. Communication is it, my darling. Very important. Talk to your partner about what you like. Yes, boo-boo. Talk about what you like, how much sex you want to have, and even how and where you like to do it. Yes. Talk about pleasure. I keep asking, as a couple, I know you talk about this and that, bills to be paid, raising the kids, this and that. And then you don't talk. You don't talk about pleasure. You don't talk about your sex life. Why? No, darling. You've got to talk about these things. Talk about what turns you on and what turns you off with equal vigor, my darling. Very important. Extremely, extremely important. And, this is very important. And, many couples avoid the conversation because they don't want to offend or, their partner or admit something is lacking. My dear, remember something, right? Nothing can be resolved until it is discussed openly. Never forget this. Nothing, I repeat, can be discussed or can be resolved without this being discussed openly. And you've got to work on developing your ability to openly talk about what you like. Talk about your likes, what you like and what you don't like with sex. I know that your partner is not a magician. You've got to talk about these things so he or she knows. And when you talk about these things, right? Look, it makes it beautiful. It makes it easier. Then your partner gets to understand. And it's all part of getting to learn you. Okay? There are times that both of you get to explore together, but you've got to talk about these things. Yeah. Speak up when your partner is doing something that feels good. And also speak up when your partner is doing something that doesn't feel good. Very, very important, I tell you. Okay? In fact, I recommend talking about sex with your partner when you're not in bed and not naked. Yeah. Honesty. Yeah. It doesn't mean you can talk about it while in bed, maybe after a nice romp together when you're cuddling up and, yeah, that's okay. But it's also good when you have this conversation when you're not in bed and not naked. Now, that way, the discussion will become a more regular, normal part of your life. Think about it. If you haven't started it, yeah. If you haven't made this part of your life, I think you've got to. You've got to start. And you will thank me later. I promise you. Talk about sex with the same freedom you talk about recipes, football, your favorite TV series. Yes, darling, have this conversation. This will reduce the stigma. I know some people are shy. They don't. They don't want to be. Some people say, I don't want him to think of me in a certain way. Or no, it's for your betterment. Except your partner isn't the kind of person that enjoys talking. Yeah, there are people like that. Then, yeah, you know that, okay. I mean, you know your partner better, okay? But I'll advise that you have this conversation. It's very, very important. Another thing you've got to do is educate yourself. Yes. Before you tell your partner what you like, you need to know yourself. I bet you some people don't even know what makes them tick sexually. Educate yourself. I encourage you to educate yourself about sex and find out, my darling. Find out what you enjoy. Find out what you enjoy, baby. If you don't know what you like in bed, learn. Yeah. You can research. Yes, darling, you can research. You can even take classes and workshops with your partner. Yes, there's such classes that you can take as a couple. Yeah, and you could watch pornography together. You could masturbate, especially for the ladies. It becomes a problem when you get addicted to it. But simply knowing what works, that's what the idea is, okay? Getting to know what works, all right? And, talk about touch. Yes. In fact, you can even go as far as following, on social media, following sexologists on social media for thousands and thousands of tips, free daily tips. Yes. Look, I'm echoing the importance of self-discovery because it's very, very important. Overly important, my darling. Yes, dear. Very, very important. Look, take time to identify your turn-ons and your turn-offs. Yeah, and explore what feels good to you. That way, when you know these things and you're knowledgeable about these things, you can let your partner in to your world. And, of course, vice versa. Both of you, basically. That way you now get to know what works, and then you get to enjoy a healthy sex life as a couple in your marriage. Whether you like it or not, sex plays a very vital role. And it's very important. It's quite frustrating when one party wants more and the other party doesn't know what to do and gets frustrated and agitated and it becomes a quarrel. Or, it's no. These things can be sorted. these things can be worked on. Another thing I need to tell you tonight, darling, don't judge. I beg you. Do not judge. You both need to feel safe. You both need to feel safe in order to open up and keep your sex lives healthy. Okay? It's very important. Think about it. Nobody loves to be judged. It's quite uncomfortable. Yeah. What I'm simply saying is no judging yourself or your partner. Look, sex is sex. Sex, I repeat, sex is sex. Look, there are hundreds of ways to have sex. Just focus on how you want to feel, not what judgment is placed upon the activity. Okay? I beg you. And don't apportion blames, in your sex life. If your sex life isn't going well, no, that's not the way to go. Many couples struggle with intimacy, and it's very normal. It is a very normal thing. I tell you, some couples you see and admire because, when you're getting it right in the bedroom, it reflects on the outside. It doesn't mean every day is Christmas, but somehow there's this connectedness, there's this intimacy and friendship that the couple exude inside and outside the bedroom. So when you see these people, you admire them, and then you start to judge your own relationship instead of trying to make it work. Now that is a no-no. My darling, it's an absolute no. Another thing you need to have at the back of your mind if you're looking to have a healthy sex life in your marriage, my darling. Tonight I'm telling you, please, don't make it a measure of your love. Yes. Okay. In fact, it has absolutely nothing to do with how much you love each other, okay? And how committed you are to the relationship. You have to cultivate connection and pleasure, okay? You've got to cultivate that connection and pleasure. It will not fall out of the sky. Love is not enough. I'm sure you heard this saying from time to time. Yeah, you have to make it happen. You've got to put in work. Darling, you've got to put in work. And one very important thing I want to tell you tonight that I know goes on, with some couples. Walk through resentment. Yes, my dear. Now, if lack of communication, judgment, and blame have been common in your sexual relationship, my darling, it's very possible that one person or both of you are harboring some resentment. And you know where resentment leaves. I don't expect pleasure to thrive or fun to thrive. Your sex life should be fun and pleasurable. It should be amazing. It should be something that, you think about. Maybe you flash back to last night and you just have that smile on your face, Or you flash back to early in the morning with your missus or your mister. And you just have this bold, cute smile like, naughty girl. Yeah, these things are healthy. They actually help your mental health as well, my darling. So when resentment drives, it can't work. It just can't work. Look, this can also be, can also be the case if one of you feels a sense of inequality. Yeah, these things happen. One partner may feel resentful of maybe carrying the heavier load. Whether that be the emotional baggage of, a diminishing sex life, or the physical responsibility of always being the one trying to resuscitate the sex life. Now that isn't fun, if you ask me. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Deal with your resentment and heal it, darling. Deal with it and heal it. Please. Look, there's no shortcut. From me to you tonight, there's no shortcut. You've got to walk on it, deal with it, and heal it. You've got to do the work individually and as a couple. It takes time, I know. It takes time, it takes work, but it's so worth it if you want to remain in the marriage and relationship. Yes, my dear, I'm talking to you listening to me. Shake it off, kick off, knock off that pride and that resentment. I know you're awesome like that. Another thing I needed to do, darling, if you're looking to build a healthy sex life in your marriage, is for you to build trust. When trust between two people dies or deteriorates, it also affects your sexual wellness as well. It does. I'm talking about for the husband and the wife, or the couple. If there's a trust issue that's been festering, it needs to be reconciled and healed. You know how important trust is in a relationship, right? Super important. In fact, let's just say it's one of the most important ingredients, if not the salt to the soup. Yes. No matter how much you add the protein, you add the chili, you add this and that to that soup, if there's no seasoning or salt, I wonder how it's going to taste. Even if it's the tiniest bit. But this time, I'm not talking about it being the tiniest bit. I'm talking about you actually ensuring that you build trust. Look, open communication, compassionate honesty, and say the help of a therapist can help. Okay? Yeah. Ask yourself if you want to truly be in this marriage or relationship. Okay? It requires both of you committing to it, committing to show up more days than not to do the work. At the end of the day, everything I've said so far tells you that you need to put in work. That's what it is. And it requires both of you honestly committing to it and making it work. If both are on board, then, in fact, you could even begin to explore, the 12 types of intimacy and what each of your needs are. Yes. You know that saying, right? Marriage isn't a walk in the park. So is achieving a healthy sex life. It's not a walk in the park. It's not that difficult, and it's not that easy either. It just entails some work here. And that's it. You will just be awesome. I tell you. And sex has amazing health benefits. And when you get it right with your partner, and you both enjoy what you do together and the time you spend together, your mental health, has been sorted to a great extent. So, look, as you identify what you want more of, and listen to what your partner wants more of, then you can collaborate on working on each of those types of intimacy that I mentioned earlier on. Yeah. What you'll find is when emotional intimacy and communication intimacy improves, so does physical intimacy, because all of this are based on trust. So, boo-boo, trust is important. I'm telling you, very important. And hey, my dear, I know it sounds almost so difficult to you right now, but I want you to relax. Breathe, relax, okay? Look, feeling too stressed out to be in the mood for physical intimacy? Now, that is one of the most common reasons why couples stop having sex. I get this all the time on the show. Black coffee, my wife denies me sex. Black coffee, my husband, makes too many excuses not to have sex. I'm tired, I'm frustrated. Look, I'm telling you tonight, eliminating or getting rid of the stressors altogether may be realistic, well, it might not just be realistic though. Okay, I'm talking about getting rid of the stressors now because, if it is your job, I'm not saying quit the job now, right? But I'm telling you that can help build resilience and response to such stimuli, okay? Yeah. You could try mindfulness, you could try meditation, you could try mindfulness techniques, In fact, practicing being present and even breath work, breathing and breathing out. They help. It's quite uninteresting that you're making love with your partner and you find that in mind, but your partner isn't present. That's not good. That's a no-no. So like I mentioned, you've got to deal with the stresses. There are techniques, there are things you can do that will work. Chill, like breath works. You want to indulge in, mindfulness techniques, meditations. All of this have actually been proven to decrease stress levels. And, having those stresses under control will actually contribute positively to your libido. Being an adult is definitely not easy. That's true. But you've got to find a way around handling these things. Yeah, to make your sex life beautiful and healthy. One thing that you shouldn't throw out the window if you're looking at on your sex life and you're looking at building a healthy sex life in your marriage, be active together. Yeah. Be active together. Look, we all know that a good workout not only helps with stress, but it also releases, of course, an endorphin rush for a more lifted mood and, of course, positive mindset. But, involving your partner in the activity can actually have benefits all on its own. Yeah. When was the last time you took a walk with your partner? Yes. When was the last time you jogged in the morning together as a couple? If you can't do it every morning because of your different work schedules, it's okay. What about Saturday morning? Do something together. What about going to the gym together, going swimming together? When you're involved in this and being active together, it's awesome. Yes. Yeah. I'm telling you, doing something active together helps you feel closer. And you to feel closer. And you're working towards the same goal, to be your healthiest selves. And of course, it's a turn on, Let's paint this picture. You're both out working at the gym, maybe on Saturday morning. Yeah, maybe early in the morning, or you take that walk or you hike together. And right after that, you get in, you have a shower, and you have a shower together. And in the course of having that shower together, ooh, things can happen as a couple. Yeah, When was the last time you did something that exciting, that fun? All this helps, and it helps you feel beautiful and handsome all over again. Yes, because you both appeal to each other. And think about it. Think about it. And another thing you can do to help the health, to keep that sex life healthy in your marriage, is for you to get flirty. Yes. That's right. I'm talking. In fact, let me take you down memory lane, right? To the start of the relationship, when, casually flirting with each other was the most exhilarating experience, huh? Do you remember? Look at you. I mean, who doesn't? Who on earth doesn't want to feel wanted or desired? Who? I do. Over and over and over again. Think about it. Flirting can bring back fun to your relationship. Yes, darling. Plus, it will remind you of the very beginning when you couldn't just wait to get your hands on each other. Oh, my darling, you know, right? What has happened to your sex life? You both need to wake it up, baby. Wake it up. And in the course of it, don't forget to kiss. Oh, typically when a couple's sex life, is on the decline, kissing is the first victim. It's the first thing to go out of the door. Yeah, I know. Look, darling, make it a point of reintroduction. Reintroducing kissing into your daily routine. And then build up kissing more often and for longer. Okay? This form of physical touch is important. It's important to build trust, freedom, and fun in your relationship, darling. Yes. And there's just so much you can do to ensure that marriage of yours, that sex life of yours, is healthy. I tell you. Yes. There's just so much you can do to keep it healthy. Okay? Very important. Very, very important. Yes, darling. I'm your number one go-to soul sister, BlaqCoffee. Remember, I'm live on YouTube and Facebook on Nigeria Info Abuja on both YouTube and Facebook. I see a message here. Bimiku Beatrice says true talk. Thank you so much. Okay? Thank you so much, Beatrice, for the compliment. Yeah? Okay? So feel free to also send your take or messages on the live stream. Okay? On Facebook and YouTube. Okay, so let's go on. Yeah, my darling. Remember, it's Pillow Talk on your number one talk station of the nation. And I'm telling you, this giving you these tips, things that you can do as a couple to keep that fire blazing in your sex life as a couple in marriage. There's always this tendency, you hear people say, oh, you've been married 5 years, 10 years. Oh, how baggy. What's there? There's no excitement. Who says? Oh, no one is going to bring the excitement in. You both have to bring the excitement in. Yes, baby. You both have the paintbrush, and all you've got to do is keep painting away. Yes. And when you paint it right, oh, you get it right. I tell you. One thing you can do as a couple as well to keep that sex life healthy is for you to be spontaneous. Please. Yes. Spontaneity. I know, right? Long-term relationships become monotonous, like I said. It can feel like every day is the same. Yeah, right? And it doesn't entice excitement, that's for sure. It doesn't. But you get used to being around one another so much and seeing, as well as experiencing all of the areas of, your partner's life that you begin to feel more like roommates than partners. Oh, my darling. Shake up the status quo, darling. And I'm telling you to do this, just do something completely different. Look, it doesn't have to be something huge. Just by changing up a few small little teeny-weeny things, in your marriage can make a big difference. Yes, that change has to be brought in by you, not me. I can only put you through, but that's not going to be my job. It's your job to do as a couple. Yeah. Now, this other point I'm about to drop is overly important. Make foreplay a priority, my darling. Okay? Yeah. Yes. I mean, I've heard of, once couple gets stuck in a routine, foreplay is quickly forgotten. I know. Yeah, it's just okay. Gang. You face the other side. She faces the other side of the wall, and everybody sleeps off till tomorrow. Yeah, no, baby. As a result, in fact, the entire buildup of excitement and arousal is no longer present, and this results in less satisfying sex. Hey, darling, look, this is especially the case of those that primarily feel a responsive desire instead of spontaneous desire. Where seduction is a major component, where it is a major component of arousal, you can't, I mean, think about it. You can't bake a cake, darling, without preheating that oven, can you? No. Think about it. You've got to preheat the oven, baby. Hey. And it's true with foreplay. It is very important. You can't just get into the car and drive. Hey, steam the car a little bit, baby. Now that's foreplay, and that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Share your fantasies. Very important. Yes. Look, I know some people are shy, some people are scared, some people are timid. They don't want to just share. They're bothered about what their partner's going to say or what they're going to think. Look, sharing your own personal fantasies with your partner can open up a whole new world of pleasure, baby. Yes, it can. Yeah, honestly, I know it may be quite scary at first, but it's a wonderful way of building and enhancing connection with your spouse. Yeah, it brings back excitement and what's possible when you're vulnerable with one another. A lot of things are possible. Yeah. And don't throw, look, see, it's very important that you both make this work. And if you're that open minded and ready to experiment, my darling, you can experiment with toys or role playing. Yeah. I tell you, stillness and monotony in a long term relationship, marriage, it's just not sexy. It is not. Spice things up. Introduce some new concepts, baby. Yes. In the bedroom. Ooh, you could try some toys. A whole new persona, between the sheets. Ooh, changing things up, help. It just helps you better connect because you're trying activities together, basically. Yeah. I've said it here once that shopping, sex toy shopping together can be really fun. Yes. That's if you're open to it. Some people just, for some people, it's a taboo. Oh, it's a sin, it's a crime. Well, but if you're open to it, hey, darling, please, 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 with all pleasure, baby, knock yourself out. Honesty. Yeah. Just make sure to discuss, okay, what you're willing to try and what doesn't do it for you beforehand to just avoid any awkward moments during sex together. Okay? It's always ideal that you have this communication, just conversations. That's why you need to communicate. You need to talk, baby. He's your husband. She's your wife. Yes. Talk about your pleasure. It is your pleasure, baby. Yes. And another thing you can do is create a sexy bucket list. Yeah. Now, this is a great way, honestly, this is a great way to dream and fantasize without the pressure of having to check off all the items. Yeah, share this activity. Decide that just because you put them on your list, they don't have to happen. Okay? Yeah, a bucket list is that list of things that you want to try out or you want to do. Okay? Yeah. So you both have that. You could just draw up a bucket list together. It doesn't mean that you must try out everything in that bucket list, but I'm telling you, it's a fun thing to do together. Yeah. Remember, it's fun to discuss your pleasure together. Yes. Honestly, darling. And hey, have you considered maintenance sex? Maintenance sex. Okay, well, the idea of the whirlwind rendezvous is far more, sexy, being intentional about your sex life. I tell you, it can have a resounding impact. So scheduling maintenance sex holds you accountable for being there for your partner. What I'm referring to is, you're not up to it tonight, but she wants it or he wants it. Then indulge, baby. Yes. Yes. Okay? Yeah. And I'm telling you, it reduces the burden of compatible, sex drives and incompatible sex drives. And it minimizes the risk of being too busy to remember to get busy, I mean, since you've already carved out the time for it, yeah, you can make out time. You be intentional about it. Oh, some people actually draw up a sex timetable. Did you know that? Yeah, some people do. It's not a bad idea. And just knowing when it's going to happen builds anticipation and excitement too. So that's one of the positives to Yeah, practicing maintenance sex, considering maintenance sex as a couple. Yeah. And the last on my list tonight of, things you could actually put in place to ensure a healthy sex life, darling, is for you to seek professional help if needed. Yeah. I mean, if you're unsatisfied with your sex life, you're far from alone. Every night, almost every night on the show, you have one or two people complaining about this and that, and their sex life. It's normal, but you see, there's nothing, like I said at the beginning of the show, that cannot be solved with with kindness and educating each other and learning. Many people have problems with sex because most of us grew up in a culture that taught us, that balancing a checkbook was more important than creating harmonious sexual relationships. Yeah. If you or your partner have tried to talk about this, your problems, and it hasn't made things better, or if you're struggling to have the conversation together, you might want to seek professional help. Okay? Yeah, you might want to. It's important. Look, having problems with sex is normal. Ignoring the problems is a choice, right? Well, most sex problems are resolved with meaningful adult sex education provided by a sexologist or a sex counselor or coach, like BlaqCoffee and many others, okay? Don't be shy to go see a professional. That's what we're here for. Don't be shy, darling, okay? So, my darling, make love tonight. Make it beautiful, okay? And keep making it super beautiful because you both together are awesome. All you've got to do is in your own little way, the best way possible, make it work, okay? Yes, my darling, feel free to please reach out to BlaqCoffee1 on Facebook and Instagram. And also, you could check out a lot of other therapists, coaches. They could really be of help. I promise you. Okay. All right, boo. As usual, it's always a pleasure with you on the show. Okay, I see a message here on Facebook from Sadhu Josh Lemar. Says, nice work, Coffee. Thank you so much for the compliment. So, we're done with this segment of the show, Pillow Talk. It's about that time you called me up via the phone lines or the WhatsApp portal. Okay, let's talk about what it is. Do you practice any of these tips that I've shared with you? Has it worked positively? Or are you experiencing any of this sexual problems, like as a couple? And have you learned something tonight? Let's talk. Feel free to call me up on the show. Remember, I'm with you till 1 a.m. Your number one go-to soul sister, BlaqCoffee with the little creeps, got you. Keep it locked on the dial. And of course, Pillow Talk is Mondays and Tuesdays. All right? Yes, darling. 0700 951 0000. That is, of course, the studio line. You can call in. Also 0809 597 4869. Let's talk. Okay. Take care, darling. Keep it locked on the dial. And I need you to know that when you make it really nice together and you make your sex life beautiful, of course, that's going to be the reason why he or she will keep wanting to come home quickly to you or reach out to you or want to just be with you. Yes, I tell you, couples that get it right, make it right, get it right. It's Pillow Talk with your number one go-to soul sister, BlaqCoffee. with a little cream. Keep it locked.
Hey, darling, we need to talk.
This is Nigeria Info.